update on mobile. Hell yeah!
So AEW had the return of CM Punk. What did WWE had? They had Montez Ford versus Otis.
They had the Brood theme.
Well, what I saw a meme about that. I
theme.
don't understand. Yeah, they played the Brood theme.
Yeah,
Apparently.
because Edge dumped like blood on Rollins.
Yeah, now everybody's like, "Ooh, is the Brood gonna get back together?" I'm like, no.
Yeah, definitely. Christian's wrestling for AEW, and Gangrel isn't the most desirable guy anymore.
Dude, I hope Gangrel shows up as Vampire Warrior who's banging and banging.
We're live, pal.
We're live.
Where are we gonna be? Where are we live at?
We're live
Ultima.
on the tubes.
On Ultima. There we are.
So
There
pretty
you are.
pretty uneventful episode, right?
Definitely. Nothing happened at all. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
nothing happened.
You see that thumbnail? Photoshop. Nothing happened.
That's Photoshop. Yeah, nothing happened at all.
Yeah, go home, kids.
Yeah,
Nothing to see
we're
here.
we're just trying to get the views. That's all.
All right, now that Vince McMahon is gone, now we can get into the review.
Yeah, he's bugged mine and Eric Johnson's houses. I mean, we've already accidentally booked things in the past, but anyway, yeah, the return of CM Punk, guys. Brought a bunch of grown men to tears, including Eric Johnson here.
And me.
Yep.
Yeah, but you're not a grown man, so.
I'm 19 years old. I'm a grown man.
Yeah, but you're not. But you're not. You're an adult, but you're not a man. You're not a man until you're 21.
I can't argue with that.
What if you're
I'm
25 with
with the body of a fucking 42-year-old.
What if you're 25 in the mentality of a 16-year-old? Does that count?
Well, now hold on. Now that's me.
That just means you're a wrestler in Britain.
Look, I am 25 with the mentality of a 16-year-old. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought
I
it
am
was
a
third. I thought it was 3, to be honest.
Hey, it's 2. Get it right.
You just said 16. You get it right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, let's get it.
Yeah, let's just get
Why
straight
you always
into
gotta
this.
pull a fucking Uno reversal card on me, RBM? It's fucked up.
All right, let's get into the.
That's racist.
Let's get straight into this. Let's get straight into this AEW Rampage review. So, I did not watch anything besides the CM Punk stuff, not purposely. It's because after the CM Punk stuff, I was setting up for the stream.
Fake fan.
And then,
WWE Mark.
hey, listen, I haven't watched.
He said,
That's for true.
I heard
do
he
not
bought a
watch-
T-shirt that says "Call me up, Vince."
He bought the property of the performance center.
Yeah.
But it was, from what I've seen, I mean, we had the CM Punk stuff, then we had a tag team match, and then there was the Jade Cargill match, and then the main event. Is that what happened?
Yep.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Let me describe. Since we're gonna talk about the CM Punk stuff the most, we already know
Yeah.
everything, how it touched you all.
Yeah.
But I want to get into that tag team match for a second. Honestly, Jungle Boy is the best worker in that whole match.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah,
is
definitely.
pure talent.
You know,
he-
and
He's a great babyface as well. You know, like whenever he does something, you just have all the people in the crowd just cheering for him.
Hell yeah, dude. I love Jurassic Express. You know.
Minus Marco Stunt for me because
I don't mind. I just
hear me out on this one. Marco Stunt is great for what he is. He's an undersized guy, so no one's going to take him seriously in a match. Now, if a guy like, let's say, Big Show got in the ring with Marco Stunt, could you really see Marco Stunt surviving 10, 15 minutes?
no, but that's not the point. The problem is that AEW sometimes they decide, you know what, screw it, we're gonna have Kenny Omega be intimidated by Marco freaking Stunt.
My thing is, if Marco was just the complete underdog, just in general, like just lost a lot, but he never lost his faith
Yeah, well,
in
I mean
himself.
that's technically what he's doing right now. You know.
Yeah, I know, but since he's with a stable that, you know, what he lacks in size, Luchasaurus has.
Yeah.
And then the
It's
middle
the
ground is
balance.
Jungle Boy.
And then Christian Cage, who's almost as tall as Luchasaurus. What the hell?
I just love how Christian doesn't know how to interact with them. Like, all of his segments with them is just a little
Let's
off.
see. My only
Christian
problem
was
with
in
Jurassic
segments
Express
with
is that
Jurassic
I-
Express.
uh, my only problem is that I feel like Jungle Boy needs to work on his mic work because when he gets on the microphone, he just looks lost. He looks like he doesn't know what to say, and
that's
his
his
facial
personality.
his facial expressions are just like dead, just like dead. It doesn't
Well,
do anything.
If you used to watch a shot of Brandy used to do that alcohol making food show. She had him on, and he just doesn't sound interested. It's just how he is. Like he just
Yeah, I
kinda
get
talks
that,
like
but
this.
I still feel like he needs to work on it, at least on his facial expressions a little bit, because otherwise I feel it's very, very meh. Or he needs a manager, which is
Well,
what's
that's the
basically
thing.
happening
That's
with
why
Christian.
he is
And
a
you're talking about
mid-carder in
Jungle
the first
Boy?
place. That's why he's a mid-carder in the first place. I mean, you know, he's
Yeah, but
not
I
very
mean,
good in the mic.
they're clearly building him up to be one of their big baby faces, one of their big stars, one of the major players in the company.
Well,
I
he's
feel
not-
like
Yeah,
until
but in the tag team division, though.
well, I mean, he already had a world title shot with Kenny Omega, where Kenny
Yeah.
Omega tried to do a
Yeah,
Ric Flair, but
not
and
good
he
if had it.
failed. Kenny did not draw a Ric Flair. He wasn't good enough to do that.
Yeah, and
but they're not
there's a
gonna
reason why
put
he's
the
not champ.
strap on him.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Thankfully.
really doubt they will put the strap on
I-
Jungle Boy.
Just feel like Jungle Boy, you know, he needs to work on that microphone a little bit, facial expressions, just work a little bit on it better, in order so that in the future he can be a true major player. Because I mean, the fans are ready to accept him as a major player, but he's not ready to be accepted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think and I think everybody realizes he's not ready to be the world champion right now. But that doesn't mean he can't
Exactly.
still have
There
good.
can only be
good
one
matches.
world
He's
champion.
a leader in the tag team division.
Well, I'll put it this way. So I myself, when I'm out there, I have RPJ. I don't know if you have this, but I have a natural stage fright to me. You can put me out there and I could talk for hours, but not in front of large crowds. I don't like all attention on me. What we might not understand is, Jungle Boy's dad was a famous actor. Maybe he
Yeah.
doesn't take to it.
Yeah, and it also depends on people. Like for example, me when I used to do theater, you know, before the show I'd be like pissing my pants. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to screw everything up, and then you put me in there, and I'll do fantastic. Some people are the opposite. You know, maybe they'll do fantastic with a smaller crowd, and with the larger crowds, they don't do that well. You know, but you have to see. We have to wait and see. I feel like Jungle Boy is just a great worker right now. I
Okay.
just feel like he needs to do
Okay,
better.
I feel like we're beating. I feel like we're beating a dead horse by now. Jungle Boy can't
Probably.
talk. Jungle
Jungle
Boy
Boy
can't
can talk,
Jungle Boy
but he
doesn't-
can wrestle.
I do
Jungle
like the
Boy
pairing.
doesn't know how to cut a promo yet. All right.
Exactly.
I
There
do,
we
I
go.
do,
That's
Now-
I do
the
like
bottom
the
line.
pairing of that match, though. Jurassic Express and Private Party. I
Yeah,
do
the
like.
match
what they
was
did.
really good.
Here's what I will say. Here's one thing I will also add. Jungle Boy being from the jungle, right? You'd think he'd be a lot more hairier, but when they pulled the tights, man, it was basically all wax.
Oh, that was the most waxed
Well,
ass I've
he
ever
had to
seen in
do
my
it
life.
for he had to do it for Anna Jay.
Exactly, I would
But-
too.
Yeah,
Anna Jay is, definitely worth waxing your ass.
I must say, I don't know. I don't know. Is this man truly from the jungle? I don't know.
one thing that I didn't
Urban
like
jungle.
was the Young Bucks showing up to watch the match. I know I just don't care about the Young Bucks. I wish I didn't have to see them every week, but they're the EVPs. They're gonna put themselves over somehow.
Here's also something I'll kind of add to the match. Private Party, they're good stuntmen, but they don't know how to actually wrestle.
That could go for half of professional wrestlers nowadays.
Yeah, but they just there was just something about the match. Jungle Boy, he was doing good. Private Party, though, it was just sort of the eyes to me.
Yeah, they had this moment where like one of the party guys, I don't know who, hits like a Canadian Destroyer-esque move while Jungle Boy is
yeah,
on
I saw
Luchasaurus' shoulders. That
Oh,
was
I-
crazy. But the problem is, why was Luchasaurus just standing there? Why wasn't he trying to do anything?
I know
The
that,
problem with that is, why did that not finish the match?
Luchasaurus broke it up.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
still, like
but they
a
could-
move like that, that's
Exactly, and look, if Luchasaurus breaks
And
it
then
up, it
he-
shows
and
that
then he-
Luchasaurus was not in any bad condition. So why wasn't he trying to help his partner not get
Yeah,
hit?
then he
what
wasn't.
RPJ is saying as well.
Yeah,
Canadian
they-
Destroyer is a move that some guys use as their finish because it's a devastating looking move. For that to just be a throwaway move in the middle of the match, that's why some people don't like the more spot-ridden wrestling.
it was on a man's
At
shoulder.
least-
Like, come on now.
At least it wasn't.
I thought it was
What? At
fantastic.
least, yeah, I thought it was
It-
good.
yeah, but
at
it
least
should
it wasn't
finish
as
the
bad
match.
as last Wednesday's match. That one was just baffling to me in the Files Finishes department. But at least in this match, it kind of makes sense because I think it's the only real big move that got broken up. But the only problem again is just the Luchasaurus let the entire thing happen. Easy way to fix it would be to have the other member of Private Party just grabbing his foot or something, making it like, oh well, he can't get out. He has. He can't help.
So then I think we've pretty much set our piece on this match. Overall, I think we can come to the consensus. Jungle Boy looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, in
He
ring
does.
definitely.
Every time in the ring, he is fantastic.
He carries the match most of the time.
So I think now that we've made our piece, let's move on to Jade and Christina Hogan.
Oh,
Jade Cargill.
Kiera Hogan.
Kiera.
She's a beast.
What
What about
did I
Kiera
say?
Hogan? What did I miss?
Can we
He said
record
go to
it?
Christina.
It was a squash match.
Yeah, it was a 5-minute squash match because we were talking about that. Apparently,
It
they're
was
pushing
less than
Jade,
that.
It was a lot less.
but
Felt
Yeah.
like
Well,
90 seconds.
All I can say
But
about this match, I wish.
Yeah.
All I can say about this match, I wish Jade Cargill would squash me. That's the end of it.
you like big muscular women.
But yo,
Because
she's gonna
I'd
be
be on
big
the other
one day. I mean, she's already big, but like she's got a really good future in AEW.
While we're doing this, there's a media scrum with CM Punk and Tony Khan. It's really interesting.
So
We'll have to
I
watch
guess
it afterwards.
who's the one that has the manager? Smart Mark.
Mark
Jade, right?
Sterling, Jade, yeah, Jade Cargill has Mark Sterling.
Yeah,
What a
Smart Mark
pandering
Sterling.
name.
So,
Nice
yeah, I
tongue-in-cheek
guess
reference.
he's like his gimmick is, if you guys don't know, he's like a rich guy.
That sounds familiar.
How original. How original.
Oh yeah, so I know someone else that wants to do that gimmick.
He's like a smart investor or whatever, and he wants to invest in Jade. And like that's like his big investment's her, and so far she's just mauling through the whole division.
Why not invest in stocks?
Smarter investment choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, she takes one bag.
Stock market's
That's
pretty volatile.
done.
I think pro wrestling's on the up right now.
But how do you guys feel about Jade Cargill just squashing people? How do you feel about them booking her like that?
I don't know much about her, but I will say someone like Kiera Hogan, who was a cornerstone of Impact.
Two-time Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champion.
She's definitely a good worker. I think they could have found someone else to squash in that one.
Definitely.
I definitely wouldn't have squashed her because we know she's something and she can work. I
feel
would
like-
have chose someone else.
I feel like maybe they put her on TV because maybe they could possibly be doing something for her in the future, and they probably knew that
they
the
definitely
CM
are.
Punk. They knew that CM Punk being on the show was going to get a lot of viewers, and maybe they just wanted more eyes on her.
Obviously. They're
I'm
trying
sure
to
they
get a
got
lot of viewers
massive
on her,
ratings.
so that she's dominant. They're probably fast tracking her to probably a title once she's good and ready.
I mean,
Can we just
stuff.
make this question be asked real quick? What do you think the TV ratings are going to be for tonight?
oh, it's
I
going to
think
be
it's gonna
huge,
be a million.
bro.
I think it's gonna pop a million.
Well
here's
over a
the
million for
thing.
like the first 15 minutes.
Oh, hey! For this, I'd say the viewership's gonna spike with the CM Punk debut, and then it spiked again for everyone looking at Jade and Kiera Hogan's backside.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, do we think the rating's going to be in the 4s or the 5s
Ooh,
for that? Probably 5s.
it's going to be
Maybe
around
even
there,
6.
which will
It's
be
gonna be in
huge
there
anyways.
somewhere, I think.
It might tie the Raw rating, in which case I don't know what Bruce Pritchard is going to say to Vince because they were trying to blame Triple H for Dynamite being NXT. So if Rampage beats Raw, that'll be fun to watch.
That would be
That'd be
amazing. Would that be the highest
hilarious.
rating
Keep
that
Raw.
any professional wrestling show has gotten?
Listen,
in a
whenever
long
CM
time?
Punk came out, it was official. I said, here it is. WWE's days are over.
They're not.
That
That's
is-
the problem.
Nah.
They're never gonna be over.
Nah.
I will
They-
argue that.
they
WWE's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Their
they could
viewership
stop
will go
doing-
down.
They're not in the same
They
time.
could fire
anyways, too.
all their main eventers, and they'd be fine.
They could stop producing professional wrestling. Well, they don't do wrestling, they do movies, according to Vince McMahon. They could stop doing movies tomorrow, and it wouldn't matter because they have the biggest library of all professional wrestling companies in history ever.
Yeah.
Just renting that out would be enough to make money.
Is the
Well,
live
I mean,
event experience going to go
Even the
down?
Roman Empire
Yeah.
fell.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about this. WWE has so many financial backers, like NBC obviously being the biggest one that we all have the issue with. AEW is still such an up and start company. A lot of people aren't willing to give them that chance. They're going to stick with what they're comfortable with. You have to get the casual fan to start watching AEW programming in general.
Yes.
Most of these casual
What better
fans,
way than CM Punk?
that's a start, but I'm talking about like some of these newer kids would have no idea who CM Punk is.
Yeah,
It's up to the parents to show them.
All right.
They definitely
So-
got the real wrestling fans. They definitely got them.
Yeah.
Oh,
The casual
and I
fan
think
is going to
we
stay with
totally-
WWE because they don't know better.
I mean,
Vince,
Vince-
that's the first segment of the night.
Yeah.
Honestly, which was, I mean, I did not think that was going to be the first segment. Maybe the last.
I thought it had to be
didn't
the first
either.
segment. It needed to be it because if you
That's
put
why-
a last, the entire show is just gonna be CM Punk chant.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. It would have been better because think about it. How many people watch that segment and then switch the channel? I made that joke in the comments for a reason. Because if anyone tuned in, just all right, I got my CM Punk fill. Let's see what else is on. It could happen.
Yeah, but
Oh,
then
who
people
knows?
might switch the channel and be like, fake.
He comes out. He looks so emotional. Like I've never
He was
seen
crying.
him look like.
He cried. He
I
straight
did.
cried.
I know.
You see
We
his
made
eye.
other grown men cry too, especially that one we saw on.
He's gonna be a meme by the end of the night. I guarantee it.
Yo, but how
No,
smart
no.
was it to put a commercial during CM Punk's entrance?
It was
made
very
bad
smart.
money off
People.
of that.
It was very smart. People were invested. They were.
Exactly.
It
was
will
very
never
smart.
be better than the the Nick Gage and then Domino's commercial. That was great.
I'm not gonna
You
lie,
can't tell
that,
me.
that commercial was like the longest 3 minutes of my life.
It was a long. It was only 9 seconds. Yeah.
Just a
Was
minute
it
and a half.
really?
Yeah, they said a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, well that was the longest minute and a half I think I've ever fucking went through.
It was smart because you're gonna tune back in.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not as smart as the Domino's commercial a few weeks ago with Nick Gage. That was hilarious.
True. At least we got the loudest pop I think we'll ever get since the Attitude Era.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, the commentators could not talk. That's how loud everyone was.
You could barely hear the music.
It was amazing.
I knew.
All right.
I called it real quick. Last thing I'll say on that, and we'll talk about this more towards the end. I called 100%. Tony Khan was gonna get the rights to Cult of Personality.
I think we
Oh yeah,
all,
he gets the right to all the songs.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it because then we get Tarzan Boy for Jungle Boy and Jurassic Express, which is great. And I love how CM Punk got the sing-along started for his as well.
So if Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson debuts, you think he's going to get a final countdown?
I think he's
I
gonna
think
get
so.
Ride of the Valkyries.
He
What?
could because that's a public domain. Ride
Yeah,
of
it's
the
just
Valkyries,
probably,
which was
they
his
could
theme.
just get whoever
Yeah,
to try to cover.
The main song because it's so old.
Yeah.
He could, but if he did Final Countdown like he used to do, I could see it too.
I mean, I don't think he'll do because Brian actually hates that song. He behind why Brian Danielson chose the Final Countdown.
I mean,
He
I
was
hate that
looking-
song.
He was
I
looking
hate
for
that song, too.
he wanted a song that was so bad it would give him heel heat, and he chose the Final Countdown because it was
Why
so
did he choose
bad.
We Built This City by Starship?
Oh,
Exactly. No,
I
a
like
lot of people hate that song. A lot of people hate that song, and RBM's reaction says he does too.
I love it.
or Sweet Caroline, Neil Diamond.
Well, I live in Pittsburgh, dude. The University of Pittsburgh uses that for the beginning of the fourth quarter. We love it.
We all fucking hug each other and sing that every time.
love it.
Anyway.
Let's talk about the Kenny angle with Don Callis. Don Callis's promo skills are starting to fade a bit.
I love Don Callis.
But they're starting to fade a little bit because it seems awkward. The start of that promo was so awkward to me. It's like they just said, "We're live." He went, "Oh shit, let's go."
To be fair, he only had like 30 seconds to get his point across.
He had to
I
rush
mean,
through it.
if he had to rush through. If it was like in the ring, he felt the heat of the crowd. He had like 5 minutes to just soak it all in. I bet he could have delivered a good promo, but it's Rampage. You got 1 hour. You have 30 seconds to do this promo. It's being taped basically, or whatnot, or just being shot live. Gotta do it.
I'm pretty sure all of AEW promos like that are taped.
My thing is with that is I know full well Rampage is not going to stay an hour. They're gonna keep it for an hour for a while. They're eventually gonna have to bump it up to 2.
Yeah, Warner is gonna ask for that second hour.
Then it has to start at 8. If they go up to 2
Yeah,
hours.
they would bump. No, they could do 9.
Oh, they could do 9
They would,
o'clock, yeah.
but they would. The problem is they don't want to compete with any hour of SmackDown.
Why?
That's why they
Because
put it
they'd get-
immediately after. They're not going to get it. Again, we're going back to the WWE is still going to get more viewers for SmackDown
Well,
than
not
AEW will for Rampage.
Here's the thing: AEW fans are not gonna watch SmackDown. That's
They're
the
not.
AEW fans are gonna watch Raw.
WWE has more fans than AEW has.
And
fans.
marketing.
Yeah, but we already saw it with NXT. So with NXT,
Yeah, but NXT
not a
is
Dynamite, it
major
didn't really
step,
matter that
but-
much.
But here's the
NXT
difference
is
between
not
NXT
SmackDown.
Of course,
and
NXT
SmackDown.
is not
Maybe
SmackDown,
NXT moved to Tuesdays.
but yeah, but the idea
NXT
was-
They beat out the developmental brand. That's a good start. It's going to be a very long time before WWE could go and sit on Friday nights, or AEW could sit on Friday nights and compete with SmackDown.
I can guarantee you, at this current moment in time, they could put Omega, Punk, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho, they could put all their major stars on one show on Friday nights, and they'd still probably lose. They'd make it competitive, but I bet they'd lose still.
well, yeah, but the main reason for that would probably be that SmackDown is on Fox.
On that program.
Is there anyone commenting on the stream? I haven't actually looked. No, is one person watching? Nice. Just double checking. For that one person, thank you.
Oh, it's me. I'm kidding. It's not.
Thank you,
All
RBM.
right. I'm a big AEW guy. I've been watching for like fucking a month or two now.
We were at the first ever Dynamite. Like, let's be real. We
Yeah,
drove all the way to
we were
DC.
at the- Yeah, we were at the first ever Dynamite.
Wow.
Yep.
Anyway, we should probably get on to the main event.
Okay, let me get one thing about this main event out of the way before they had it. The promo that Moxley said, the dude has a better chance of getting him pregnant. What was that line?
Well, it's supposed to mean that they think he has no
I wonder what
chance.
someone's mother would say walking in. Like, you're watching
like-
what?
What
I
did he just
promise
say?
wrestling, Mom.
Like, I said that because I'm like,
Dad comes in, right? Dad comes in and goes, "Get that gay porn out of here."
like, let's be real. We always had those moments as kids. Like when you're playing the old SVR games and like the splash screen of like Trish Stratus would come up when your parents walk in
every
the room,
time.
and then any other time.
No, my mom walked in the one time during the SmackDown versus Raw game, like the original one in 05. And like you know how that sex scene comes up? You see Corey Wilson's bra like go over the tower and land. It's like she's like, "What are you playing?" I'm like, "It's WWE, I swear."
Anyway,
like, it's kind of like that, right? Your
back
dad
to-
walks in. Like, "What do you watch? It's all about men getting each other pregnant."
anyway,
Turn
back
that gay porn off.
to the main event. What's your thoughts on the match?
I thought it was good for the time it had.
I thought
I
it was
thought it
pretty
was-
slow.
There was a few missteps if you watched. I think the one where he goes into the crab. He put Moxley in that Boston crab before the finish. I think he was
Oh,
supposed to
did he,
roll him
like-
up there.
No, the like sharpshooter thingy.
Yeah,
I actually really like it. I really like how he did
Yeah,
that. How
sorry,
he
it was
put that,
sharpshooter.
then it really smoothly transitioned into the finish of the match. I thought it was a really, really good moment, and also it keeps Daniel Garcia a little bit strong because it shows that he got caught
Well,
in a really
here-
quick
here-
moment by a
Mhm.
veteran who is a huge star, and it
Well-
shows that maybe if it had gone a little bit different, maybe it would be an entirely different situation.
Here's the issue with that. It looked kind of shit.
I
Because
thought it was kinda
first, hold on. He slipped the sharpshooter. The legs slipped between his legs. He fell on his ass. He kind of had to. You saw he had to kind of readjust quickly. I think what was supposed to happen is it was going to be like a sharpshooter. Then he just leaned back into it, really get in, really just crank on Moxley's back, and then that's where he'd get the bulldog choke. But he just kind of laid on Moxley instead.
Yeah, but I actually feel like the transition looked better by having him just lay it on Moxley.
Now, if somebody who does the submission is one of their moves, I do a Texas Cloverleaf. I feel for him in that scenario, because if the legs move and they at all, it could throw off the whole thing. especially when you go to readjust. Because I actually had something occur with my cloverleaf. I went to crank it back. I went to pull him back into the middle of the ring, and I slipped. But then I yanked immediately back, so it looked like I just leaned forward and cranked it all back. But if any part slips, if the leg slips slightly down, it could cause you to lose your balance very easily.
So, although I get the intent, the execution just didn't look that great. But overall, it was a decent match, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, they only had like 6 minutes.
I thought everything was great. The whole show gets an A. A.
Here's one thing I thought because at the end when Darby and Sting ran down, I thought it was a missed opportunity not to have CM Punk come down and give a GTS.
The crowd 100%, and then Kenta comes out and whoops his ass. Quit stealing my move, bitch!
I mean,
Well,
Kenta
like,
just sent a
I would
tweet
love
calling
CM
out
Punk
Punk.
to come down and just like he would have came down and GTS won a 2.0. That'd have been cool.
Then locked eyes with Darby.
I wish Bryan Danielson had come out just all of a sudden.
If
I
they
think
would have
they're
had
gonna lock eyes
Danielson,
Wednesday.
if Danielson and Punk debuted on the same night, that place would have come unglued. Like more so than it already did. Like that building would be in shambles right now.
I think United Center has to rebuild their whole arena because that whole arena shook. Okay.
The only way,
Rebuilt.
the only way that United Center could be even more destroyed after that CM Punk moment would have been if Michael Jordan came out to introduce CM Punk.
Probably.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And
You
then
know
Brian,
what?
and then
Brian
Brian Urlacher
Urlacher
comes out
came
and celebrates with him.
If Brian Urlacher came out and said, "See, yeah, fuck," oh man.
If
That
Bob,
exploded.
if Bob Sapp had come out, the entire Chicago would have just burned down. Of how
Walter Payton's
hype
ghost
people
just
would've been.
comes out with a CM Punk shirt on.
Yeah, Walter Payton just comes out in the spirit form.
And
No,
it's
he
so-
doesn't. He comes out as a hologram, okay?
No, it's Colt Cabana. He just wants to spite CM Punk.
Somebody actually said that would have been really cool for Colt Cabana to derail that. And I can't disagree.
I doubt Punk ever wants to work with Colt.
Well, they're in the same company now, so they're going to have to put it to rest eventually.
Well, you really think Punk is going to be a full timer? He shows up for his promo, then I bet he would.
He just said in
On
the
Wednesday.
he just said in the conference
He
call
said
that he will be
on the
there.
Friday
He
days
just
left.
said it's not going to be
Friday.
part time. Just
He's
said it.
full time. He's
He's
signed
good,
a
but-
full time
But
contract.
he's definitely not going to he's probably going to get like not like a separate area, but he's probably going to be separated from a lot of the roster.
Now, my problem with the only
Give him
problem
Kenny.
I have right now with CM Punk. Obviously, we need to there's going to be the Kenny match because it's what the audience for AEW won't see. But when do you have the Kenny Omega match?
Sometime next year.
You need to wait until Hangman wins the belt for this match to happen. You can't have Punk and Kenny fight for the belt because then Punk has to win. You can't have Kenny beat CM Punk, you know, right? We can all agree with that.
I mean, he could have Kenny beat
You
CM
could.
Punk.
Yeah,
the
but
elite
if
then the
it
elite
would be very
then-
stupid.
Well, no.
Well,
Think about
not
it this
really.
way. Let's say the elite interferes and costs Punk the match. Well, who's going to come to his rescue? Perfect time to debut Bryan Danielson.
Well, but that means the match just happens too early.
Well, not necessarily. It has a point to it. And besides, you can have a strong match where CM Punk loses and it still makes sense. It wouldn't be necessarily a dumb
Right,
decision.
but that's really true. You have CM Punk. This is the biggest name they will ever get. There's literally nobody else apart from Brock and Brock. Brock, say it 3 times fast. And John Cena. Only Rock, Brock, and Cena are realistically 3 names they could get that are bigger than CM Punk right now. And Cena, not gonna happen. Rock, not gonna happen. Brock, I mean, if they cash the money they put out, it probably could happen. But
He
CM
have the
Punk,
money.
yeah, it could happen. But CM Punk, realistically, is the one.
Again, the 2 greatest
only-
signings.
This is the greatest signing they could ever have. Not even Bryan Danielson is at the level that CM Punk is. It's a man
It's
who
not,
hasn't
but it's a
wrestled
good
in
second.
7 years. It's a guy who people have been waiting to see. And his first loss, in my opinion, has to be against the new up-and-coming talent. It can't be against Kenny Omega. It can't be against
I mean-
the Elite. It has to be against someone like maybe Jungle Boy, maybe even Darby.
I
Of course,
feel-
not all out.
I
But
feel
it
like
needs to be against someone that's going to be there
I
for a
feel
long,
like,
long time.
I mean, you said it yourself. Punk, you said it yourself. Punk is going to be their biggest star, right?
That
Why
was the
not?
biggest
Why
thing I
not?
had.
Why not put over their champion by saying like, "Hey, here's the biggest star, basically
Like,
that
the
we could
biggest-
ever
best in the world
afford."
versus the best bout machine. That writes itself.
Yeah. The
And
problem
look, if
is,
Kenny,
the problem
there's-
is Kenny doesn't need more build-up anymore.
honestly,
because we all know that Kenny's going to lose to Hangman Adam Page. True.
Look, I'm just saying,
That's,
it wouldn't be a mistake if Punk were to lose to Kenny. I mean, Kenny, yeah, he's already established, but he's established with AEW. Now imagine the fans that Punk brings. They're watching the pay-per-view. Omega beats Punk. They now see Omega as the better wrestler, the more
that's-
superior wrestler.
you see, that would work if people still thought that professional wrestling was a shoot. But they know it's
No.
a work. They know they're choosing Kenny Omega to go over. So you think about it this way. If you're a CM Punk fan, you're only watching AEW because of CM Punk. You want to see CM Punk. You see your favorite wrestler finally come back for 7 years and he loses to this guy. Are you going to be happy?
Well,
That's why you don't push it too soon.
Exactly. You have to wait, what,
But you don't
a
have
year?
to wait 3
2
years.
No,
You
I'm
don't have
just
to wait
saying.
3 years or 2 years. You
Yeah.
could easily do this time All Out next year. Because All Out's always going to be in Chicago. And what
But-
better place to get nuclear heat for Kenny Omega than to beat
Jesus
CM
Christ.
Punk in Chicago?
To be honest, I kind of feel like we may get Okada versus Omega next year at All Out. It's
If New
just,
Japan stops dragging their feet with their top talent.
well, we'll see. Tanahashi got pulled from the All Out because they wanted Moxley to lose to Tanahashi. And
I
AEW
mean,
said
Minoru
no.
Suzuki
Yeah,
is
I knew that
floating
wasn't
around
gonna-
America.
That wasn't gonna work too well.
I want to see Moxley versus Suzuki in AEW. That's just me.
That would be great.
Here's a hot take I have.
I want to see Onita versus Moxley.
Okay. Here's a hot take I have. This Fire by Killswitch is much better than Cult of Personality.
You know what?
No.
I used to think that when that song first debuted in 2011. No, I have to disagree.
Nah, this
It-
fire's
grew on
goated.
me
Different
the
Punk.
3 years he had it in WWE.
Yeah, but I think as a theme in general, I think it's just better.
it was
Welcome
a
to the
staple.
stream, Gino
of CM
Alpha.
Punk.
He says he can beat CM Punk.
What was that?
Gino Alpha says he can beat CM Punk.
Good to
Gino
know,
Alpha.
Gino Alpha. I bet I could beat CM Punk.
Well,
I
if
feel
you're
like a lot of
anything-
people could beat
yeah.
CM
If
Punk.
you're
Hold
anything
on.
like
Hold
Gino
on.
Hernandez,
Hold
you
on,
probably
hold on.
could beat him.
No, wait a minute. Who the fuck is that guy?
I feel like if Mickey Gall can beat CM Punk, I feel like I
Who
can
the
beat CM Punk.
fuck is that guy?
Hey. Remember, Punk is technically only has one loss in the UFC now.
Yeah, he only has one loss and
Yeah,
one draw.
one loss and one no contest.
I mean, seriously, Gino, whatever your last name was, if you're
He's
anything like
0-1-1.
if you're anything like Gino Hernandez was, you probably could beat CM Punk. If you don't know
Hold
who Gino
on.
Hernandez is, look it up.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Gino
You know
Hernandez
what?
is the guy who died
AEW
in
signing
'86.
Vampiro next.
He died. He originally his case was set as for homicide, but it was later shown that he was a drug overdose. He was one of the
Dark Side of the Ring.
main
I watched
wrestlers that showed up in World Class Championship Wrestling.
that. I watched that Dark Side of the Ring. It was really
Yeah,
good.
he had a Dark Side of the Ring. He feuded with
I
Chavo
still
Guerrero.
want to know who the fuck that guy is.
Okay, so
He's-
now that AEW has CM Punk, right? Everyone in the wrestling world is talking about it. Where does AEW go from here?
Well, they're gonna have
I
that
don't
match
know
with
what
Darby.
I'm doing.
You got to ride the
Honestly.
wave of momentum. You got to cash in on the
It's-
things WWE didn't, like the ice cream bars. I know it's a
Yeah.
throwaway line, but do it.
I
You need
agree
your-
with that.
You're
And
making the video game anyway. You put a lot of money into this video game. Who knows when it's going to come out, but you've dumped money into mobile games, and you've dumped money into a video game that costs you a lot of money. So you need to cash in as much money as possible. And how are they doing that? Cody Rhodes and Brandy's thing that's on TNT now is going to bring money. The two shows are going to bring in money. Well, AEW needs to put out the ice cream bars.
Exactly. Put them out. Give us the ice cream bars. Well,
You
they
need to
already
ride
gave
the wave of
they
momentum.
already gave ice cream bars at the United Center.
Yeah, but those were probably just like the prepackaged stuff.
That's probably a good
They
humor
had-
bar.
yeah, they had a little CM Punk package. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not like an actual wrestling ice cream bar.
There's a thought. I think CM Punk is going to eventually work with Brian Pillman Jr. I know. I just feel like that's going to happen.
I feel like he's going to work with a lot of those people.
And
Yeah,
I
he's gonna
think
work with a lot of
AEW needs to
people.
put on the dream matches. You got this alliance with all these companies now. Well, you got some people that people want to see dream matches.
CM Punk and Kenta.
Yeah, CM Punk's got to face Kenta for the rights to use the GTS.
CM Punk's going to fight Kazuchika Okada.
You know what? Send Punk to the G1 climax.
Yeah, send Punk to G1. Why not?
If Punk wrestled the fucking G1, I would be hyped.
There's so many opportunities here to make a bunch of wrestling companies a lot of money. Punk shows up on Impact. Impact drags himself out of the hole that they've been in. They're not in so much of a hole like they used to be, but they're not.
Impact is always on the hole.
They that's because they're piss poorly run.
Yeah,
But-
they're always on the verge of dying.
They've
They
been
never
poorly
die.
run for like 15 years, Kevin.
You get my point. If CM Punk shows up on a Tuesday night,
Thursday.
what's gonna happen? It's ballistic. People are gonna
They're
go
on
fucking
Thursday.
Thursday. Sorry, I fucked up.
What's
I'm
up,
confused.
Punk?
Oh,
doing it?
where
That's
you go?
Cardinal
awesome.
Sin,
fucked up.
you got the wrong date of when
fucked up.
Impact airs. Oh no.
Do you think that
It's
AEW?
Because
Impact.
everybody-
Watch Impact.
Do you
Everybody
guys,
cares
hey,
so much about Impact.
All right, what is he saying?
do you guys think that AEW's ratings are going to be on par with WWE's now?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree, and Eric Johnson's full of himself for thinking this. Again, you can capture the hardcore wrestling fan space.
I
Let's
think
say
they're gonna,
there
I
could
think
be a
they're gonna be
million
closer.
hardcore. They're gonna be closer. They ain't taking over.
It might take some years, but they are done.
They're not
I-
gonna be done.
Look,
Your
see-
pipe dream is hilarious. It's not gonna
I don't
happen.
know. We will see.
CM Punk
That
is
is-
40, 42, 43 years old. He has like maybe 2-3 good years left in him.
Well, we never know. I mean, Chris-
age doesn't matter. Okay, like
yeah, look,
fucking Ric
Chris,
Flair went till he was like
Dude.
60.
dude, Christian
point here
Cage
is,
is
again,
49 and he looks the same as when he was.
You still
wrestling.
have
Yeah, but
to
he's-
capture
yeah,
the
hey, that's-
average
hey,
fan.
Hey, there's that
Age
stem
is
cell
not
for
giving
you.
They're not.
Nothing is not going to fuck about age. If you could still go and put on a good match, you could still go. This
You
isn't
don't even
like
have to put on a
football.
good match.
Where you're done at
Yeah,
35.
and the
Think about
reports
it.
we're
Look how old
hearing.
Sting is.
Jesus Christ, he's 63.
Yeah. So I mean, if Sting can do shit at 63 years old, I don't think age is the factor. The factor is what I'm saying it is. AEW is now going to capture a lot more hardcore fans that left wrestling because they're just so dissatisfied with the craziness. Their favorite guy was CM Punk, and they stopped watching wrestling when CM Punk got fired on his wedding day. So now that they're going to be back, they're going to be closer in numbers, but they're not taking over WWE. And AEW is just getting viewership in India. AEW is probably still not worldwide. There's still probably places that are in the dark.
One question that also needs to be brought up. How long does CM Punk stay? Does he stay for a year, 2 years? Does he get burned out?
Well, he mentioned he has 4 Saturdays or Sundays a year, so he at least has 2 years. So we know that.
Yeah, so then what after that? We just talked about how it's going to take a few years
Yeah,
for
we'll
them to
have to
catch
see.
up, but what happens when CM Punk...
I think he's signing a 2 or 3 year deal.
Okay, what happens when that deal runs out, or what happens if he wants out of that contract?
Okay, well, I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're talking about
Yeah.
what's coming up in 6
Who
months.
cares about it right now? He just
Future,
came
not
back.
the far
Shut the
future.
fuck up.
Yeah, let's think about the near future.
Let's just,
Yeah,
let's just
that's
be
what I'm saying. When it
happy
comes to
that
this
our man is
situation-
back after 7 years.
Yeah.
That's why when
Laurel
TJ here is saying that they're going to overtake WWE's viewership, it's not feasible. Like I said, WWE gets this viewership that AEW just can't match right
I
now.
think they'll take over viewership right away. I'm just saying it's a slow, inevitable end. Might take a year, might take 2 years, might even take 3 years.
Again, the WWE could replace all the wrestlers with the Muppets, and
I'd
2 million
watch
people
that.
are still gonna watch.
Dude, the Muppets would be fucking awesome. Don't put disrespect on them. Could you imagine, like, Kermit
Frog
fighting
versus
a
Elmo.
Kermit in a Hell in a Cell match against Gonzo? Holy shit, dude! I
Welcome
gotta
to
put
the
that in
Stream Elite
TW.
TV.
Yo,
You
Kermit the
sneaky-
Frog versus Big Bird in a street fight.
Oh, dude, that's great.
The best part is you're gonna see their puppeteers just like bumping into each other as the puppets are fucking each other up.
Oh, dude, you have like who like Animal selling
Who's the
Kermit.
babyface in this
Yeah,
review?
you
I
have-
think the babyface
oh,
is definitely Big Bird from Sesame
Yeah,
Street.
How you doing,
Yeah,
Elite?
you have Big Bird telling Elmo that Jim Henson is not up there. He's down there.
My God, that's heel heat right there.
You know.
So,
Big
who
Bird,
would the
more like
count
big
be with?
bitch.
They pull Bobby Lashley and Lana storyline with Kermit and Miss
Yeah.
Piggy.
I'll just say, who would the count feud with?
Ooh. I think he'd just be his own thing. He'd be like the Firefly Funhouse.
He'd do his own thing, yeah. He'd be his own fiend.
He'd be the Fiend.
He's the fiend.
No, you know what? You know what? That you.
He's gonna make a new
You know what?
brood.
No, you know what?
Brood.
You have all the Muppets, and then you just have Bray Wyatt. Like it's all the Muppets, but you have Bray Wyatt just there.
Puppets too. So Mercy the Buzzard just beating the shit out of that little mouse
No,
thing.
no, listen,
Thank you all for
right?
watching this
So, like
stream.
the Count's promos would probably be like, when the Count meets you in the ring, the Count beats you. A 1, 2, 3. And then
Is there
now let's
anything
say
else
this.
to add to this stream?
Let's
Now
say
I
this.
want Muppets wrestling. God damn it!
Alright, let's the topic at hand.
Well, hey, they're related to Sheamus. They're in the family business.
Yeah. Oh, hey, let's remember CM stands for Cookie
There
Monster.
we go. We got
Swift
some,
Co says-
comments here in the chat.
I'm thinking that
Elite TV chanting CM Punk. I'm there with you. And he goes, remember the days I was telling you about this Darby guy? Long before his match against Cody.
yeah.
Look where he is now. He's managed by Sting and is Punk's first opponent. That's some crazy reputation points, and it does help Darby. And
Yeah, and he
his-
probably
Yeah.
loses.
That's
Yeah.
the one thing I love about AEW. Unlike WWE, where they'll bring in an older guy, and bury the hell out of the young and up-and-coming talent, like Goldberg comes in and just buries them in 5 seconds. How does that help the guy Goldberg just feuded with? It doesn't.
Right. We're going,
Well, they
Whereas-
get money.
Look at Darby. He ties with Cody, who's an established name. He's not a superstar quality guy. He's not selling out arenas. But you give Darby that opportunity with Cody, and he draws with him. So then he just keeps going up. Now he's managed by Sting, and you talk about them as a tandem. It's not, oh, look, Sting is managing Darby. No, it's Sting and Darby. They're a cohesive unit. That helps Darby get over more than he already was. And now he's facing CM Punk, which puts Darby on a fucking hilltop as the up-and-coming guy.
and then we have Swift Co here. Swift Co says, I am thinking that AEW will come close to taking WWE views. Then WWE will get rid of Vince to actually get Ultimate views.
That will never
Ah,
happen.
That's a
Yeah.
pipe dream. That's a fever dream and a half.
Vince McMahon will rather
Vince will
die.
never get rid of. The only way you'll get rid of Vince is when he dies. I'm
Or,
sorry. that's
or if
the
you
only
or
way
if you
get-
murder him, in which case you may need to go to a psychiatrist if you think about
No,
murdering Vince
just
McMahon.
saying, like, dude, Vince McMahon and WWE, they're synonymous. You can't have one without the other, right? So the only way WWE would ever get rid of Vince is Vince. Unfortunately, that day comes for all of us. Is when he
Either-
passes away.
Well, I mean, Vince's mom is 101 years old and she's still alive, so
That's fucking
Good
crazy,
genes.
isn't it?
looks like we have some time left.
We'll be old and
I mean,
decrepit
who
before
knows?
Vince drops
Man,
dead.
he's in the best shape of his life still. Yeah, he's looking old, but he eats healthy every day. The only problem is he only sleeps like
Well,
3 or 4
Vince
hours. a
McMahon
day.
barely
I think that's
eats.
up to him.
If Vince McMahon could go without eating, he wouldn't eat. Jim Cornette confirmed this actually. He said when he was working on the All Creative team, Vince McMahon would only eat because he needs to. If he didn't have to eat, he wouldn't.
Can you talk about that during the burrito story?
I think it might have been that.
Where Vince had no idea what a burrito was?
Yeah, it probably was like that. Jesus Christ, Vince McMahon is a freak of nature.
Put get rid of in quotes. I don't know what that means. About get rid of Vince.
Get rid of Vince.
I'm not sure either. We're gonna need some more context there, buddy.
Well, we'll. Well,
If
Take him
Alright.
out back and old Yeller his ass. Just bow.
But hear me out. You have CM Punk now. You need to give the people,
Okay.
AEW,
Get rid of it.
AEW,
Out the basket.
AEW needs to give the fans what they want. CM Punk versus Luther. That's my
Luther.
match.
Who said that?
Sure.
Who said they wanted that?
That's Jose saying that.
Exactly.
Alright.
They
I think
want
I
Luther.
Eric, I
I'm
think
gonna go
Jose's
Del
taking
Sol
the
versus CM Punk. It's gonna sell many
I'll tell
tickets.
you what I want to see. Shit, what did I want to see? Give me a minute.
He wants to see John Cena, but nobody can see John Cena.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants to actually see John Cena and what he
I
looks
think-
like.
You know,
Here
I
we
think
go. TV, MJF. That's what I want to see. I want to see a CM Punk versus MJF match.
MJF.
Would be
he's
good.
gonna
Jungle
he's
Boy.
gonna be the first one to mention CM Punk's MMA stuff.
Oh, definitely. He's gonna-
Legendary. All right, here we go. MJF, Darby, and Jungle Boy have such bright futures, but their ceilings is in that order. MJF is the new Jericho. Darby is the new Jeff Hardy. Jungle Boy is a future Daniel Bryan.
Swift wants to. He
So,
wants, Swift
Jungle
wants-
Boy is gonna be the bigger one.
Basically, Trips
Swift
is gonna
wants to
kill
take him
good
out.
old daddy-in-law.
make it look like an accident, like they did with Princess Diana. Oh wait,
And then we have Swiftco says basically Trips is going to kill good old daddy-in-law. He might.
Yeah, at this point, I
Seems
wouldn't
like
be
seems like
surprised.
there was a sledgehammer at the scene of the crime. Any thoughts, Triple H? I don't know. It could be anybody.
He
There's a
goes
shovel
for
there,
30
too.
minutes, but he doesn't say anything.
it was a street fight. He knew
Here,
about it. Too.
Here. It seems that we've captured some audio. Triple H, thoughts? It could be anybody. It could be a ghost. It could be a
I'm
ghost.
gonna kill you, Vince.
No, Paul. No, Paul. God damn it, Paul. You're fine.
Goes to Paul Bear's like,
Well, no, here's the thing. Like, I think that man probably has one of those Ring doorbells, and the cops are like, "Hey, we found this audio, from Vince's Ring doorbell, and he's here. I killed him.
time to go home and file Stephanie.
Get a fourth daughter.
And then when he goes to like prison, Triple H goes to prison, we find out what's all the storyline.
I
Punk
did it
versus
for the
Blank.
WWE.
Well,
I did
so
it for the
basically,
people.
Elite TV said this: Punk versus Blank will sell, honestly. So you can literally put anybody in there with Punk. It sells tickets.
All right, Punk versus Luther. Let's freaking go!
I
No,
don't
no,
know.
Punk versus Marco Stunt. That'll sell out stadiums across the
I
world.
guarantee you, AEW fans, it would, and I would buy a ticket. As a matter of fact, I'd buy that pay-per-view.
CM Punk versus Hook.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Taz out of retirement and make him wrestle CM Punk.
God, I wish the Mysterios were at
You know
AEW
what?
just to
You know
have
what?
Hook
Well,
and Taz versus Los
Here's this idea
Mysterios.
right here: CM Punk versus Aubrey Edwards. Let's go. We're down with it.
We yearn for true
Well, you're all
gender
about-
equality.
You're all about equality, right?
Exactly.
Better yet.
I want Aubrey Edwards and me in the ring right now.
Better yet, CM Punk versus Michael Nakazawa.
Michael
Alright.
Nakasawa.
Elite
Fuck yeah.
TV
10
says,
stars.
I'm just scared that AEW will take too many WWE wrestlers.
All
Or
that
have too many
baby oil.
ex-WWE wrestlers facing each other. Okay, look, dude.
Okay,
I know
it's
it's
wrestling.
crazy, but you got to realize that they bring name value. That's the thing.
Also, the guys they hired
It
are
doesn't matter what
super
stigma.
talented. All the guys they hired are super talented.
Not gonna shoot at Elite TV here, but I hate that stigma. Oh, they're a former WWE guy. That AEW's cashing in on old WWE guys. Well, let me tell you something. Because WCW did the same thing, but guess who else did that?
No,
WWE. With WCW guys.
Yeah, look, the biggest draw in
AEW
the
guys.
history, the biggest draw in the history of the business was
the
a
Attitude Era go, oh, look at this fucking WCW guy.
hold on. The biggest draw in the history of the whole business was a WCW reject that went over to the WWF. That's a
I mean,
fact.
dude, you go with
Hulk Hogan.
people who
That's not a
draw.
WWE guy.
You
Either.
go with people who draw.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where they came from. Do they draw? Like I can't
Wrestling.
stand.
That
Oh,
drives me insane.
former WWE guys. Oh my god! Like that's the reason
WWE
why
is not the
people-
be-all, say-all. Just because you're in
Look,
WWE doesn't mean you can't work anywhere else after WWE. So what
There's a
people are
different. Yeah, hold on.
Can you-
You know, Kevin. So let's just say you and I own a Pittsburgh promotion, right? And we don't like this certain people. Oh, he works for them. We can't hire him. Like what?
Elite TV, Punk versus -1. That would be a match I'd like to see.
-1 would
doesn't
fuck
make
up
any-
negative
CM
one
Punk.
would fuck up CM Punk. Yeah, -1 would be kipping up on
Kevin,
CM
you
Punk
know
every
that?
5 seconds.
Did you ever ask that, Kevin?
Yeah, I heard you.
Like that wouldn't make much sense, right?
And that's why I get mad when people go, "Oh, they're a former WWE guy." WWE was the biggest wrestling company for many years. But keep in mind, WWE didn't create half the stars they had. They didn't create Bryan Danielson. They didn't create CM Punk.
They didn't create Hulk Hogan.
They didn't create any of this. They were already established people in other territories.
Bruno
in
San
other
Martino.
companies.
Bruno San Martino, who's their first megastar, got his first big break in Toronto.
Yep.
Like, I hate that stigma that
actually,
just because they were in
Bruno-
they touched
hold on.
WWE.
Bruno
Punk
was
versus
in.
Hornswoggle, 10 stars from Meltzer. Fuck it, Punk versus
Okay.
Dave Meltzer.
Bruno actually started in New York, but he wasn't
Yeah.
treated well. He
Yeah,
felt like
I know.
treated
I
correctly
know. I know. I have
by
his,
Vince
Jose.
Senior.
I have his autobiography. I know this very well.
Yeah, and I'm just giving it to the audience who doesn't know. Here's for
Yeah,
the audience
that's
to
my
have more
biggest-
history.
Pet peeve about when it comes to bigger wrestling companies. They poach off each other all the time. And people like us, like me, EJ here, and RPJ, would understand that because wrestlers work for as many companies as possible. That's like... That's just the biggest pet peeve of mine. Because they were a former WWE guy. You're only cashing in their WWE fame.
Like I don't want to say wrestlers do that because it's like a mercenary thing, but like you want to get out there and get over. Like you can't blame these guys for wanting to wrestle for another big promotion like AEW. Like they have TV weekly.
Look, at this
you're gonna
point,
be on national television.
just about everybody's a former WWE guy. Hell, even Kenny
WWE
Omega was in
inflated their
WWE.
roster. Because
I
they
know.
inflated their roster. That's why they cut so many people. WWE had the most inflated roster that I've ever seen. They just started signing people because they wanted to. When they basically bought all those companies in Europe, they just poached the guys they wanted. And just inflated their roster more just to make NXT UK. And then they were trying to get into Japan, but New Japan, Big Japan, and All Japan said, fuck you. So they
And
would have
here's-
inflated their rosters again.
And let's go back to the debate about how they're bringing. God damn it, Eric!
Here's the thing. Okay, and here's what he said. He said, "I'm not saying that." He said, "But look, Big Show, Christian, CM Punk are all going to be taking time in ring.
Well,
Jericho might too, I assume. Then Sting and Matt Hardy have possibly also take time at All Out. Okay, well, here's the thing. All those guys, they draw money. Okay.
Also-
Here's what marks don't realize.
Right, hold on a moment. There's a new article. Sources close to AEW have noted a new major AEW acquisition is coming on the heels of the deals for CM Punk and Bryan Danielson.
Okay, and
Someone
going
else.
I
back.
wonder who it is.
God.
What if it's the Fiend?
Oh
Here's
Here's what marks don't realize. Okay.
and going back to the thing. I can't.
make money. Okay.
Going back to I.
You gotta just
I'm
yell over him
sorry,
and start talking.
They all happen to just come from another company. It's
Eric, shut the fuck up, please.
why?
I have a pretty
RBM's
good.
been trying to get a point across for the last 5 minutes. Give him
So
2
am I.
seconds of your time.
So, yes, they are on TV, but they're also with AEW stars. Matt Hardy, he's managing Private Party. Big Show, he's not. Yes, he's there, but guess what? He's in the ring with all these AEW stars. Mark Henry, he's a commentator. He's not wrestling. He's not taking time away from anybody.
It also helps
Christian-
the talent.
Look at what Christian Cage is doing. He's with Jurassic Express. All these guys are with AEW talent, basically. And think about this. What about all the WWE talent that didn't go to AEW? Matt Cardona's in ECW. He's also in Impact with Brian Myers. Rhino is in Impact. Heath Slater is in Impact. All these other guys that AEW could have gotten, they didn't. So it's not like they're every single guy they get. They're just every single WWE guy that gets released. They're gonna get.
But these older guys that came from WWE, they have experience, which helps out the talent AEW so much more, because they can bring their experiences and what they've learned throughout the years to help the younger guys, and also to help the show itself. The major signing is Ric Flair.
Yeah,
Ric Flair is gonna go to the NWA and win the NWA World Series Championship.
Now that's
one
aerial.
more time.
You know what we gotta do,
away.
right? For our NWA series on the Berg Wrestling.
God,
Yeah,
Ric
hopefully we
Flair.
can get to that soon enough.
Let's just hope he doesn't go on a train.
RBM, you know what we're doing for NWA, right?
What was that?
I said, you know what we're doing for our NWA series on the Berg Wrestling, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Gotta
Berg
get
Wrestling,
this
go
early.
over and subscribe. YouTube, Berg Wrestling.
Ric Flair, he's
subscribe.
gonna become 17-time world champion despite Cena.
Stuff going on over there as well. Appreciate you guys listening to Ultimate live stream. I love doing this channel over here as well. A lot of fun people.
Yeah.
Now, Eric, I believe you have to go teach your fiance how to drive or something.
I don't know. We still talking about this, or
I'd say I think we pretty much got all the points we needed across, but I'd like to do this again. If you guys would like to see us do this again, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Shut up. Click that notification bell. Check us out on the Berg Wrestling for me, RBM, and Eric Johnson here. And do the same, the like, subscribe, and click that bell. And it's been a pleasure talking with you guys and listening to us.
Absolutely. If you want to see us Wednesday, that's what you got to do. For Dynamite.
Or NXT, you mean?
No, who watches NXT?
Oh, for NXT, of course.
Oh, that NXT. Of course.
Yes.
We all
For
double.
Billy,
You can get double CM Punks.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, that's CM Punk on NXT for the Brand Wars. That's a lot of fun to do.
Oh, and we got a special. We got something special for NXT UK as well. You'll have to wait and see.
Oh yeah, and NXT.
God, I love that. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
We're not gonna spoil it. But we have
I'm not
something
spoiling.
special.
I'm just saying a lot of interesting people are going to NXT UK. By interesting, I mean interesting.
But that's all the time we have, though, guys. Again, it's been a pleasure. Make sure to follow the Ultimate channel here for TEW content, as well as follow the Berg Wrestling for more TEW content.
That's right.
And if you guys like this, like I said, make sure to let us know, and we'll do this again.
And
I like it.
alright.
There, I'll let you know.
That was a live stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And CM Punk is back, so bask in the moment and enjoy the future of the wrestling business. And we are
All right, Eric, go
signing
teach your fiance how to drive so we can do NWA.
That's right. Stay tuned for that on the Berg Wrestling.
off. And we are signing off. Peace.